Welcome to AffairsCloud. My name is Vikas Rana. We are one-stop solution for current affairs. You can find Crack Current Affairs course on our application exclusively for current affairs, where you will get daily, weekly, monthly content on regular basis. Use the code Vikas10 and get 10% additional discount while purchasing the course. Also, students, follow us on Telegram and Instagram. The link for the same are mentioned in our description. This video has both English and Hindi. The first part is English and second part is Hindi. Timestamps are mentioned in the description below. So students, we have started a new initiative that is of handwritten notes. It is helpful to understand the news daily, time saving and very useful for your revision. We aims to cover 15 questions via handwritten notes in upcoming bank exams. These handwritten notes are available on daily current affairs content PDF at our mobile application and website careerscloud.in. Only our Crack Current Affairs subscribers will be able to access these handwritten notes. A sample PDF of the handwritten notes will be available in the description. Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are all good. So students, in this video we will be discussing important current affairs for the topic government schemes for April month. The session will be quite interesting and important, so stay tuned with us till the end. Also students, if you are new to our channel, do subscribe to us. We are one-stop solution for current affairs. Now let's start. The first question is, identify the housing scheme that was recently launched by Odisha's Chief Minister Mohan Charan Manjhi aimed at improving the living conditions of underprivileged citizens. It is Antyodaya Gruha Yojana. This scheme is set to spend 7,550 crore rupees and the aim here is housing for all. Next, mark the correct statement regarding the Sagarmala program, a part of the Maritime Amritkal vision that completed 10 years of successful implementation in March 2025. If we look at the options here, all the three options are rightly mentioned. This MAKV, that is your Maritime Amritkal vision, this aims to position India among the world's top 5 shipbuilding nations by 2047. Next, Mukhyamantri Mahila Udyamitra Abhiyan. This was recently inaugurated in Dash state, that is, it was inaugurated in Assam state to promote self-employment and economic independence among women. Right, take a note of this, and this is one of the largest efforts of its kind in Assam state. Next, Stand Up India scheme completed 9 years of successful implementation. Pick out the incorrect statement. If we look at the options here, we have to find the incorrect statement. So B and C are right, A is wrong. A is saying that the nodal agency for the scheme is National Small Industries Corporation. Is it so? No, the scheme is being implemented by DFS and SIDBI together. Next is, in April, Ministry of Education announced a dash per hike in the material cost under PM Poshan scheme, that was earlier known as midday meal scheme. So how much hike was announced? It was a 9.5% hike that was announced under PM Poshan scheme. Next, in April, Government of Odisha in collaboration with Ministry of Health and Family Welfare launched Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, Gopa Bandhu Jan Arogya Yojana and Ayushman Vaya Vandana Yojana in Cuttack, Odisha. Question asked here is, what is the health insurance coverage under provided per family per year under Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana? So the cover here is of 5 lakh rupees per family per year. Next, mark the correct statement regarding the flagship initiative, that is Mission Amrit Sarovar under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. If we look at the options here, all these three options are rightly mentioned. Next, Swamita scheme. Take a note of this, student. Full form of it is important. That is Survey of Villages and Mapping with Improvised Technology in Village Areas. This is a scheme that has completed 5 years of successful implementation. Question asked here is, among the following, which of the following are correct statement? So here option B and C is right, A is wrong. A is saying that it is being implemented by the Ministry of Rural Development with technical support from the Survey of India and National Informatics Service Incorporation. So everything is right. Just remember, this scheme is being implemented by the Ministry of not Rural Development but Ministry of Panchayati Raj, and take a note of it. Next, identify the correct statement based on the regional connectivity scheme Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. Among the following, we have to look at the options. Which among the following are right here? Right. So among the following, it is B, that is wrong. A and C are right. B saying as of now 725 routes have been operationalized under regional connectivity saying उदय देश का आम नागरिक connecting 90 airports including heliports and water aerodromes across India. Right, so it is not 725 but 625 routes. Now all the options are right. Next, you have to find the correct statement regarding the launch of guidelines and portals for the Electronics Component Manufacturing Scheme by Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav ji. If we look at the following and look at the correct statement here, option B and C are right, A is wrong. A is saying that India annual electronics production has exceeded 11 lakh crore rupees, that is $129 million, with a target of reaching $300 billion by 2027 and $500 billion by 2030. Is everything right here? So no, it is saying that the production exceeded 11 lakh crore, that is $129 million. The country is targeting $300 billion by 2026, not 2027, and $500 billion by not 2930 but 3031. Now option A is also right. Next students, regarding recent visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh, pick out the incorrect statement. If you look at the option here, you have to find the incorrect statement. So option A is incorrect and B is incorrect. C is right, means A and B are right. A is saying PM Modi laid the foundation stone for Madhav Netralaya Premium Center in Chhattisgarh. So no, this was in Nagpur, Maharashtra. And PM Modi launched the MEMU, that is Mainline Electric Multiple Unit Train Service on Abhanpur Raipur route passing through Mandir Hasod in Maharashtra. This is in Chhattisgarh. Now option A, B, C are right. Next is you have to find the correct statement regarding the 5-day visit of President of Republic of Chile, Gabriel Boric Font, to India from 1st to 5th of April. If we look at the options here, all these three options are rightly mentioned. Next, mark the correct statement regarding the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Uttar Pradesh. If we look at the option here, and all these three options are rightly mentioned. Next, pick out the incorrect statement regarding the visit of President of India Draupadi Murmu ma'am to Portugal and Slovakia. If we look at the option and we have to find the incorrect statement here, right? Incorrect statement. First is right, second is right, third is right, fourth is right, fifth is wrong. Fifth is saying Slovakia India Business Forum was organized by Slovak Agency for Investment and Trade Development and Confederation of Indian Industry. Yes, everything is right, but it is not Indian Industry CII but FICCI. That is your Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry from India that took part here. Next, during the official 2-day visit of Italian Deputy Prime Minister Antonio Tajani to India from 11 to 12th of April, India and Italy signed a memorandum of understanding to strengthen cooperation in which field? It was in the field of science and technology. Next, identify the organization in India that collaborated with the Federation of Italian Companies for Aerospace, Defence and Security during the visit of the Secretary of the Ministry of Defence Rajesh Kumar Singh to Rome, Italy from 14th to 15th of April. So, which is that organization we are talking about here? It is Society of Indian Defence Manufacturers. Next, during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's official visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in April, both nations agreed to collaborate on establishing 2 oil refineries in India to boost the energy cooperation. Now students, let's move to some revision part that will be beneficial for your learning. Bilateral swap agreement up to dash was signed between the Reserve Bank of India and Bank of Japan to enhance financial cooperation. So this bank swap agreement worth $75 billion was signed between RBI and Bank of Japan. Next, in February, SEBI, they have introduced a new framework for Specialized Investment Fund SIF to address the gaps between mutual funds and portfolio management services in terms of the portfolio flexibility. Question asked is, from which date will the new framework come into effect? It will be coming into effect from 1st of April 2025. Next, identify the new term deposit product launched by Federal Banks Limited to provide stable income for a period of 5 to 20 years for resident customers. It is annuity deposit. Correct. Customers have the flexibility to select their preferred payout frequency, that is monthly or quarterly or half yearly or annually, which each payout consisting of both primary, principal and interest earned. Next, S&P Global, they have released S&P Global Corporate Sustainability Assessment 2024 and the Carbon Disclosure Project, making Carbon Disclosure Project ranking in Feb 2025. Question asked is, which private sector bank in India was recognized as the highest rated bank in sustainability? It is Yes Bank. Next, in Feb, HDFC Bank Limited became the first domestic bank to trade 5 kilograms of gold on what? On Indian Bullion Exchange. Indian International Bullion Exchange. Next, Paytm partnered with which organization? They partnered with RBL Bank Limited to provide sound boxes and card machines to their merchants for easier and more efficient transactions. Next, in March, SEBI, they have permitted all NBFCs, including HDFC, including your housing finance companies, to invest in security receipts, that are your SRs, that are issued by the asset reconstruction companies. Next, mention the insurance company that recently launched child-focused insurance product, that is Smart Future Star and Smart Platina Young Achiever, to provide financial security for children, education and future expenses. It is SBI Life Insurance Company Limited. This is the company that have launched the child-focused insurance product, that is Smart Future Star and Smart Platina Young Achiever plan. Next, which private sector bank in India launched the Project Hawk, that is Hawaii Anubhavi Kalyan Kendra, serving those who have served, right? This is the name of the project. It was launched in March 25 to support the Indian Air Force pensioners, veterans and their families. Which is that bank? It is HDFC Bank Limited. Next, mention the health insurance company that launched the RISE health insurance plan in March, aimed at catering to the healthcare needs of the India's missing middle class. Right? So, which is that health insurance company? It is Niva Bupa Health Insurance Company Limited. Next is Bank of Baroda. They have introduced BOB Global Women NRE and NRO saving account designed exclusively for the women NRIs. Question is, what does the letter O stands for? NRO. That is your non-resident ordinary. Right? Take a note of this. Next, identify the public sector bank that collaborated with Indian Army to extend Rakshak salary package to Army personals, veterans and Agniveers under the Agnipath scheme. Question asked is, which is that public sector bank? It is Bank of India. BOI. Next, name the company that received $1.1 million in seed funding in March 2025 from Unleashed Capital Partners and CDM Capital to strengthen their technology and enhance debt recovery process. It is your Cred Resolution India Private Limited. Next, as per SEBI's new regulations for SME initial public offerings that was announced in March 25, what is the maximum allowed percentage for the offer for sale portion of the total IPO size? So, what is the maximum allowed offer for sale portion here? What it will be? It will be 20%. Next, identify the private sector bank that collaborated with Indian Army's Directorate of Indian Army Veterans and Common Service Centers to expand Project Naman, that is aimed at supporting Army veterans and their families. Right? So, which is that private sector bank? It is HDFC Bank Limited. It will be in two phases that started from September 23 and the second phase just now started in March 2025. Next, Kuhu Finance, backed by Westbridge Capital, they have secured the RBI license to function as a non-banking finance company, that is NBFC, that will enable it to offer student loans of up to 2 crore rupees. Next, name the institution that collaborated with Canara HSBC Life Insurance to offer credit life insurance solutions to home loan borrowers. It is GIC Housing Finance Limited. Next, in March, RBI and Dash jointly launched nationwide campaign to enhance financial security in India. It is National Center for Financial Education. Next, RBI, as per RBI's new framework for SROs, that is self-regulatory organizations in account aggregator ecosystem, what is the minimum net worth required within 1 year of the recognition of them as SRO? That is your 2 crore rupees. This is the minimum net worth requirement here. And this account aggregator system, this provides secure exchange of financial data between FIUs and FIPs. and it was initiated in 2016. Next, identify the company that became the first private sector reinsurer in India after receiving R2 license from IRDAI. Which is that company? It is Value Ethics Reinsurance Company Limited. This is the first private reinsurer in India. Next, Brisk Payment Exchange, that is Brisk Pay, they have received in principle approval from RBI in March to act as a payment aggregator for dash transactions under Payment and Settlement Act of 2007. It is your payments aggregator for cross border, right? One is your payment aggregator, one is your payment aggregator cross border. This is within the international countries, right? You can transfer within different parts of the world. Payment aggregator is just for nation, right? Within the country, within the states, you can make transactions. Next, in March, RBI imposed a monetary penalty of JM Financial Products Limited for non-compliance with NBFC regulations. What was the monetary penalty imposed on GMFL? It was 3.1 lakh rupees. Next, identify the public sector bank that entered into a strategic co-lending partnership with Piramal House Capital and Housing Finance Limited in March to boost credit access for underserved rural and semi-urban regions in India. This will be your Punjab and Sindh Bank. Next, what is the revised timeline set by SEBI in March 25 for completing right issues effective from 7th of April 2025? It is 23 days. Next is in March, RBI signed a memorandum of understanding with Bank of Mauritius, right, to promote the use of local currencies for cross-border transactions. Correct? Take a note of this. This will enhance the bilateral trade between India and Mauritius. Next, identify the digital platform that collaborated with SBI Mutual Fund to launch Jan Nivesh, a 250 rupees SIP initiative that is aimed at promoting small ticket investments in India. This is your Paytm. Next, Paytm Money Limited, they received the certificate of registration from SEBI under which category? It was under research analyst category. Right option is option third. Next is identify the program launched by the Asian Development Bank on 17th of March to enhance local capital markets, boost entrepreneurship and support sustainable economic growth in the Pacific markets. So which is that program? It is your Frontier Seed program. This is an initiative to provide funding and technical assistance to businesses with potential that is transformative. Next is name the digital platform that partnered with SEBI in March to help address the issue of unclaimed assets in the securities market. It is your DigiLocker that has partnered with SEBI here for this initiative. Then next is what is the revised minimum investment threshold for zero coupon, zero principal instruments on social stock exchange set by SEBI in March to make it more affordable for small investors. So it is 1000 rupees minimum investment threshold for zero coupon, zero principal. Next, what is the which of the following individuals was not appointed as a member of the IAC, that is Insurance Advisory Committee by IRDAI? So Sanjeev Sanyal was not appointed here. Next, name the mobile application launched by Bank of Baroda for corporate customers using Baroda Cash Management Service. It is Baroda M DigiNext. Next is how much penalty that the RBI imposed on IDBI Bank in March for violating the rules under Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999. This is 36.3 lakh rupees. Right, so on IDBI it is 36.3 lakh rupees and on Citibank it is 30.28 lakh rupees. National Science Day is observed annually on 28th of Feb across India to honor the discovery of the Raman effect by Sir Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman. He discovered the Raman effect in which year? He discovered this in 1928 and he was honored for this discovery. Next, what is the theme for the United Nations Zero Discrimination Day observed on 1st of March to promote equality, inclusion, peace and diversity? It is We Stand Together. This is the theme here for United Nations Zero Discrimination Day. Correct? We Stand Together. And this year it was the 11th edition of this day that was observed. Next, World Civil Defense Day is observed every year on 1st of March to spread awareness about civil defense and their importance in protecting people during emergencies. right? This year it was the 36th edition of this day that was observed with the theme Civil Defense Guarantee for Security for the Population. Next, World Seagrass Day is observed every year on 1st of March to highlight the importance of seagrasses in marine biodiversity and climate change mitigation. The year 2025, it marks the dash observance of the World Seagrass Day. It was the third observance of the World Seagrass Day that was observed. Next is India celebrates Civil Accounts Day every year on 1st of March to mark the establishment of Indian Civil Accounts Service. In which year was the ICAS established? It was in 1976 that this ICAS was established. Next, United Nations World Wildlife Day is observed annually on 3rd March to raise awareness about the world wildlife, animals and plants. The day 3rd March it was chosen to commemorate the adoption of the dash in 1973. It was for the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wildlife, Fauna and Flora. Next, on which date is World Hearing Day observed annually to raise awareness about the hearing loss? It is 3rd of March we observed World Hearing Day, right? And this time it was the 19th edition of the World Hearing Day that was observed. Next, National Security Day is observed annually on 4th of March in India to recognize the efforts of security forces. The day also marks the establishment of DASH in 1966. It is the National Safety Council. Next, on which date is World Day Against Sexual Exploitation observed globally each year? It is 4th of March we observe World Day Against Sexual Exploitation. Next, every year on 4th March, India observes National Safety Day, National Safety Week campaign to emphasize workplace safety and accident prevention. This year, it marks the death observance of this National Safety Day. It was the 54th edition of the observance of this National Safety Day, and this week, that is National Safety Week, it is observed from 4th to 10th of March. Next, on 4th March, the 11th World Obesity Day was observed worldwide to combat the global obesity crisis. What is the theme of the World Obesity Day observed? Theme being Changing Systems, Healthier Lives. And this time it was the 11th edition of this day that was observed. Next, on which date is UNESCO's World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development observed annually? It is 3rd of March we observe this United Nations World Engineering Day. I correct myself. When do we observe World Engineering Day? World Engineering Day is observed on not 3rd but 4th of March, right? And this time it was the 6th edition of this day that was observed. Then is your United Nations International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness observed across the globe on 5th of March. This year it marks the death observance of this day. It marks the 3rd observance of this day. Next, on which date is Jan Aushadhi Divas, that is Generic Medicine Day, observed annually across the globe to raise awareness about the importance of generic medicines and the benefits of Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana. It is 7th of March we observe this Jan Aushadhi Divas. Next is United Nations International Women's Day is annually observed across the globe on 8th of March. What is the theme for this International Women's Day? Theme being for all. Theme is for all women and girls, rights, equality and empowerment, right? Take a note of it. Next, on which date is United Nations International Day of Women Judges observed across the globe? So, when do we observe this day? It is observed on 10th of March, right? And this is the 4th time that we are observing this day. Next, 10th of March, it marks the dash observance of CISF Raising Day that honors the commitment and service of their personals. So it is the 56th edition of the CISF Day that was observed on 10th of March. Next, on which day is World Kidney Day observed annually to raise awareness about kidney health and advocate for equitable access to healthcare. So on which day World Kidney Day is observed? It is the second Thursday of March month we observe World Kidney Day. Next, World Rotaract Day is observed annually across the globe on 13th of March to honor the contributions of Rotaractors. The year 2025, it marks the 57th observance of this day. And this World Rotaract Week is observed also from 10th to 16th of March. Next is International Day of Mathematics, observed annually on 14th of March across the globe to highlight the significance of mathematics in various fields, who serves as the National International Day of Mathematics Ambassador for India. So it is Professor Anita Rampal, right, honored as the was here recently served as the National IDM, that is International Day of Mathematics Ambassador for India. Next, International Day of Action for Rivers is observed every year on 14th of March to highlight the crucial role of rivers in sustaining ecosystems and human life. What is the theme of the International Day of Action for Rivers 2025? Theme being Our Rivers, Our Future. And this is the 28th edition of this day that was observed. Next is World Consumers' Right Day is celebrated on 15th of March. It is to promote awareness about the consumer rights, protection and empowerment. Which of the following is not one of the four fundamental consumer rights articulated by former US President John F. Kennedy in 1962? Right? Among the following, which is not? It is your right to education, right, is not one of the four fundamental consumer rights articulated by former US President John F. Kennedy in 1962. Next, on which date is International Day to Combat Islamophobia observed annually across the globe? It is 15th of March we observe this day. Next, World Sleep Day is annually observed across the globe on the Friday before spring vernal equinox. On which day is this World Sleep Day observed? It is 14th of March we observe this day, right? And this day is observed across the globe on the Friday before spring vernal equinox. And this is the 18th annual sleep day that was observed. Next, National Vaccination Day, also known as National Immunization Day, is annually observed across India on 16th of March. When does National Vaccination Day commemorate the first dose of the oral polio vaccine administered in India? So when do we observe it? It was in 1995, right? First dose of the OPV, oral polio vaccine. Next, on 18th of March, Ordnance Factory Day is observed to mark the establishment of the first ordnance factory in India, right? At this will be at Kolkata, West Bengal. Next, on which date is Global Recycling Day observed annually to promote the importance of recycling and environmental protection? It is 18th of March we observe this day, and it is the 8th edition of this day that was observed. Next, on which date is the United Nations French Language Day observed annually to promote multilingualism and cultural diversity? So, on which date is United Nations French Language Day observed? It is observed on 20th of March. Next, World Day of Theatre for Children and Young People is observed annually across the globe on dash to raise awareness about the value of theatre in young lives and communities. So, a World Day of Theatre across the globe on when do we observe this day? It is 20th of March we observe this day. And World Performance Week observed from 20 to 27th of March. Next, on what date is UN International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination observed annually to raise awareness about the racism and exclusion? So, when do we observe this day? On 21st of March. Next is United Nations World Poetry Day is observed globally on 21st March to promote linguistic diversity and preserve endangered languages through poetry. The year 2025, it marks the dash observance of the World Poetry Day. It is the 26th observance of the World Poetry Day. Then United Nations World Down Syndrome Day is a global awareness day observed annually across the globe on 21st of March to raise public awareness of Down syndrome. Identify the theme of this World Down Syndrome Day. What is the theme here of this day? The theme being improve our support systems.